Hello, my name is Selena.
And my name's Theoni, and you are listening to Piping Hot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Piping Hot. It's a very spooky episode today because we're recording on Halloween, but this does air in November. But
I know.
still,
My friend Kaylin was telling me, she's like, you guys should dress up. That would be so fun. I'm like, I respectfully, this week I couldn't be bothered.
no, same. I am so busy, so tired, so stressed. Like I can't even function. So, but good idea. Next year.
No, next year. Faux show. How are you, buddy?
Good. It's been super
Good. I twitch.
super busy. Yeah, I'm fine. It's just like the thing is that like I know this time of year is always so busy for life and work, and just like the environment and the business that I'm in at work. Like it's always busy, and I know this every year, but every single time I feel like I'm dying. Like every single time I enter the season, I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's funny too, because I remember I was telling you back in August that like my life is boring. I don't do anything, blah, blah, blah. I wish I was August now. I wish I was Selena August now. Like I don't. So
it's exhausting to be busy. It really is. And to have a lot of like moving parts in life. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. But I mean, it's all good. It could be worse, right? I'm just like trying to look at the bright side of things. So I mean it's fine. But yeah, I think that's me. What about you? How are you doing?
Good. Yeah. Same good with an eye twitch, because I've also feel like I've been so busy and just running around and so tired, but things are going okay generally, thank goodness. So I just finished my pickleball league this week. We did not win. We made it to the playoffs, but we did not win. I was kind of pissed.
Oh my god, that's still really good.
But it's fine. Yeah, but we could have done better. It's whatever. But so it was really fun though. I actually really enjoy pickleball, so I kind of want to look into joining another league maybe, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think, well, this is going on work. My mom's calling. Hold on, let me tell her to say hi. Say hi, Mom, you're on the podcast.
What?
I said, hi, you're on the podcast.
I'm on a podcast?
You're on the podcast. Me and Selena are recording right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I will call you back later. Have fun.
Okay, love you, bye.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
She was like, absolutely not.
She said nope.
She said nope.
She said call me later.
She said thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, everything's fine. I'm just tired as well. So pickleball's done.
Good.
Work is fine.
Yeah.
Life is fine.
Do you have any Halloween parties to go to? Did you celebrate last weekend, or are you? Yes,
what?
you do. You're a liar. You do have friends.
I didn't have any Halloween parties, though.
Okay.
I did go to a comedy show last weekend, though, dressed in my Ariana Grande costume. No one else at the comedy show was dressed up, though, besides me and my friends. So that was a little, wanted to, like, perish. But other than that, it was good.
What?
But then I had mac and cheese for dinner, and it was really good. But then it was not good, if you catch my drift. So that was kind of disappointing for the evening.
I'm sorry.
But that's okay, yeah. But no big... Usually I love Halloween and dressing up, but
I know.
it just hasn't happened this year.
You're very big on Halloween. I hate Halloween. I hate October in general. Like, I just hate... No.
That's so...
I only like maybe pumpkin carving, and that's if I'm in a good mood. Like, I don't know.
No, it's so fun.
So I know it's fun. It just like stresses me out. So then it takes the fun out of it. But I feel like a lot of people were celebrating last week from what I've seen. But I only have a friend's Halloween party tomorrow night. So
any other life updates?
No, I don't think so.
Cool. I think it's just one of those weeks where life is just happening,
It's like, I feel like I'm running at 1,000,000 miles a second.
Me too. 1,000,000 miles a second. Really? That's funny.
Yeah.
Usually
literally.
1,000,000 miles an hour. Not an hour, a second.
Yes, that's how fast I am working at work that I can't even.
I'm moving fast and doing these things, but my brain is moving so slow. So slow. Okay.
Yeah, by the time like 2 or 3 rolls around, I'm done for the day.
No,
like that's
same.
how hard I'm working. Where I'm like, I'm done. This is
Literally.
it.
Oh my god. Okay. Anyways,
Yes.
what are you reading, watching, listening to?
Reading. So, I finished The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber, which was the second book in that like spin-off trilogy that I'm trying to get through.
Is it
It
worth
was a little disappointing. I just like here's the thing. I think I'm a plot girly. Like I need plot to happen to keep me interested, but anything that's character driven, I'm bored. Which
That's
I know
fair.
is like it's not a bad thing. It's not anything for the against the author or anything. It's just that like for me, my attention span, I need plot to move, and I think this was very, very character driven. But I am starting the last book in the trilogy. It's called A Curse for True Love. I'm like 100 pages in, and then once I'm done reading this book, I am done with the whole like series, like world thing. And I'm just like, yeah, I think I just need to be done with this world. I mean, I had fun. I just like need to put it to rest.
Yeah.
now.
Well, I think it could be a lot when you just read those like the same kind of book like for that unless it's like ACOTAR like SJM. I feel like it's tough. So.
Well, even for Throne of Glass, I took a break. Like I could.
That's true. It is a lot.
Yes.
It is.
So I've read both trilogies back to back now. Like so 6 books in total in a row.
Jesus.
And I can't even remember the last time I did that. I think it might have been Throne of Glass in like 2018 or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore. So it's just been really weird to be like so like entrenched in the world and characters.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What are you reading?
So I finally finished that stupid Unsteady book.
No way.
That hockey romance. So I finally finished it.
Tell me.
Good. It
Okay.
was good. It was fine. Yeah,
Good.
it was just like a dumb hockey romance. I feel like it kind of
Nice.
ended quickly. Like I feel like
yeah?
it could have the ending could have been a little more spaced out to like because there was a lot of good stuff going on, but then it just wrapped up really fast. But it was good. I'm just
got
excited
it.
to move on to my next one. I'm gonna be reading.
Yes.
Oh, which one am I reading? Gosh dang, I forget. Oh, Daydream by Hannah Grace. So it's in, you know that book Icebreaker?
Yes.
And then Wildfire. So it's
Yes.
the third one in that series. So that's the one I'll be reading next.
Oh,
So,
fun. Wait, which one
yes.
is that one about?
Just 2 of the characters. I forget which ones.
Oh, it's like a spin-off from like the
Standalone.
other characters
So,
in
yeah,
the
so-
other. Oh.
So Icebreaker was like one couple in this
Okay.
friend group.
yes.
The Wildfire was about another couple in that friend group. And then this next one will be about another couple. So
Wow, very nice.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm very excited.
Fun. That's fun.
Yes.
What are you watching?
A lot of the same stuff. So
Okay.
I am watching Dance with the Stars, obviously, which don't even get me
Nice.
started about that elimination. Whatever. And then I've been watching Abbott Elementary season 4.
Nice.
I have one more episode of Only Murders in the Building because the season
Nice.
finale just aired, so I have to watch that.
Nice.
And then I've been watching Modern Family.
Fun.
Been watching The Sopranos, and then I feel like there was something else I was watching, but I can't remember at the moment.
Okay.
But I feel like I've been watching a lot. Honestly.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, but it's been good. What have you been watching?
So Jack and I are still watching Survivor. That's like airing every week, so that's been
Nice.
really fun. We are also watching this Netflix reality TV cooking show that's that takes place in Korea. It's like all in Korean.
Whoa.
And it's like culinary class wars or whatever, and it's like all these like top chefs that like have years and years and years of experience. Like they have their restaurants, some of them have Michelin stars, and up against like all of these like other chefs that like are like starting out, or they're they're not as big.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and they like compete obviously against each other, and it's literally so intense. The judges are so mean in particular. I'm like,
Oh no.
this is so subjective. It's so crazy,
Facts.
but it's so fun. It is so fun. Like I
Are
love
the
this stuff.
contestants like nice to each other, or are they mean to each other?
They're nice to each other. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah, it's just so interesting and super fun. So Jack and I are slowly making our way through that on Netflix, and then I think this past weekend, I don't even know how I got onto it. I literally don't know, but I watched the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy on Max, like all 3 movies. Which
fuck.
I don't know how
good for you, but where did that come from?
I don't know. I think I was scrolling on Max, and I realized that Max has all 3 movies. And
gosh,
these are like my favorite Christopher Nolan movies, other than like Inception.
Oh, so you've seen them before?
Oh yeah, I have seen them a little too much. Okay.
Oh, okay. Then that's
I've seen
fine.
them. Yeah, I've seen them too much.
You've never seen them before, and then you just like, I don't know.
Oh, no. Girly, I am all caught up in Christian Bale, okay? But the weird thing is that I started with the 3rd movie. I started with The Dark Knight Rises, and then I went to the 2nd movie, The Dark Knight, and then I went to Batman Begins. So, like, I watched them in reverse. Like, I don't know why
did you do that? That's
it was super fun, though, I will say.
My skin crawl.
No, I will say it was super fun. The thing is that I really, really love the 3rd movie and the 2nd. I think they're really, really close, but I think I like the 3rd just a little bit more, and I could care less about the 1st. So when I was watching the 3rd, I was like, wait, I haven't seen the 2nd one in a while. Yeah. And when I was watching the 2nd one, I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen the 1st in like so long. And so that's why I watched the 1st.
That is hilarious.
So I kind of like stumbled into it. It was a great time though. Christian Bale, 10 out of 10. Love him so much. I love him so much. But yeah, that's what I'm watching.
Nice. That's great. We love it. We love it.
I know.
What are you listening to?
Nothing. I'm just listening to my pop mix on Spotify. It's so disappointing. I just don't know what to listen to.
Well, I got a couple of things.
Ooh, okay, tell me.
So, the first thing is JoJo and Tori Kelly came out with a song. It's called Bottom Line, and it's actually pretty catchy. It's like very R&B vibe. You'll be obsessed with the runs. Like, I don't think it's like one of my favorite songs ever, but it's pretty good. And obviously they're both really good singers, so it's just great. And then Addison Rae's new song Aquamarine came out, so obviously I'm listening to that. The heck. And then I've been on and off listening to the Sympathy is a Knife remix with Ariana Grande, the Charlie XCX song. So those are a few of the things I've been listening to. Although I will say, like, I'm not super into any of them. So, like, outside of those, sometimes I'm still kind of in a slump. But I do like them. So something a little new at least.
Yeah. Okay, nice. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we want to dive into pop culture?
Sure. I really don't have anything, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah.
I have 3 things, but they're like very tiny, like just kind of fun things.
All right. Well, I love fun things.
Yeah. Me too. I love fun things with an eye twitch.
Literally. Wait, never mind. Oh,
okay.
My brain is so tired. Selena. Oh my God. I'm hungry. Okay.
Okay, well, make sure you get a snack after.
I will, yes.
Do you want to go first?
Selena, I told you I didn't have anything.
I thought you did!
Selena, I just literally told you I didn't have anything.
Oh, no.
Selena, are you hallucinating? I literally just said I really don't have anything. And then you said, oh, okay, that's fine, because I have 3 things.
No, I thought you said I don't have, like, a lot of things. So I thought you had at least 1. And so I was like, oh, that's fine because I have 3.
I was like, is she telling me to go first right now? Because she's like, fuck you, you don't have any? Or what? I was like,
I literally thought I heard you say you had just like some things.
God.
Because I have some things too.
That's not what I said.
I'm sorry. I'm
It's
sorry. Okay.
Fine. Just kidding.
You don't have to go first.
So funny.
Because I'll go
I can
first.
pull out. I can talk about how Jen was wrongfully kicked off of Dancing with the Stars, but you know that's fine.
Wait, why?
I don't know. She was just kicked off. She did not get the votes, I guess, which is just absurd. Ugh. And the judges' scoring this season is ridiculous. They're giving everyone, like, the same scores and way too high of scores. I'm like, you guys aren't even being judges anymore, but whatever.
Oof.
Anyways. Horrors. Okay, what are your things?
Okay, first one is that Nina Dobrev and Shaun White are engaged.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Adorable. Absolutely. I love them. It's like,
but it's kind of funny because I kind of already thought they were, like, married.
Oh, really?
Yeah, kind of.
I'm kind of surprised that, like, they were, like, girlfriend and boyfriend. Like, I feel like they should have already been engaged. Yeah. So when I saw this, I was like, yes, finally, like, amazing. I love them. I think they're such an interesting pair, but they work so well.
Agreed. Yeah.
So
I love it.
Yeah. So that's been great. In the past, like, week or two, there have been a lot of pictures and videos of the filming of people we meet on vacation in New Orleans and just wherever they're going. And literally, I am so excited.
I'm really excited too. And it's so interesting because I was seeing like a little interview or something Emily Henry did. And she was like, you know, like they're not exactly what I had in my head of what Poppy and Alex look like. But as soon as I saw them do the chemistry read, I was like all in. So I was like, but I trust Emily Henry to cast it correctly. 100%. Because she is not as caught up in like a star name like Blake Lively or something like that. You know, like she's not caught up in that.
Yes.
Like, so.
I think Emily Henry is the person who, like, when it feels right, she, like, goes with her gut.
Totally.
And I think even if Emily Bader wasn't what she saw in her head for Poppy, she could feel Poppy and Emily. And I think that's, like, why Emily got the role.
Well, it's even one of the things where I'm like, okay, I think Poppy's technically supposed to have blonde hair. But, like, as long as she has the energy of Poppy, is anyone really going to care about the hair color?
Yeah.
And if their chemistry is right, you know, that's the
yeah. So I'm like so excited. It's just like it feels so much real and I love them together. And again too, it's like as I keep seeing like Emily Bader as like Poppy on these like behind the scenes sets, I'm growing to her.
Me too.
A lot more because again, I think it's like in my head that's not who I look. That's not what I imagine Poppy to look like, but like I'm hoping she feels like Poppy.
Well, even for me, that's how I feel about Alex with Tom Blythe because I've literally never seen him in anything except for Hunger Games. And so I just imagine him as such a villain. And Alex is just such a golden retriever that
he's
it's
so
like,
charming.
Yeah, so it's like I feel like I had to get in that mindset, but I'm slowly warming up to it. So I just want the movie already, you know?
Me too, I do. Okay, my last one is that Tom Holland launched his non-alcoholic beer called Barrow, and him and Zendaya were there at the launch party, and he looked stunning, she looked stunning, and it was just like a really big thing that was kind of just taking my timeline. I love content
we get with them.
I love them so much, and I'm so proud of him releasing this non-alcoholic beer, and I heard that like he was getting some backlash on that too, but I'm like, if you guys like know his story, like he's dealt with like alcohol in the past before, so like this is huge for him to be releasing this like brand for him and for what he stands for, what he believes in. So I think it's like really, really great. Also, I feel like it's starting to become a thing. Like non-alcoholic beer is starting to become really huge.
And I just think it's like it goes back to the conversation of like the difference between celebrity brands that actually care about their brand versus like celebrity brands who are doing something just to make like a coin, but they don't actually care about what it
like
is.
Like a tequila brand, like everyone's making tequila now.
God, everyone makes tequila.
Like Kendall Jenner has a tequila. Like I don't. Dwayne Johnson.
I don't even mind Kendall Jenner's tequila.
Oh, really?
Dwayne Johnson's bothers me more because because it's like so random because he had that and then he had his like facial care Papa Chewy like it was just all of these things and I'm like you're The Rock, why are you not doing something workout related. Like that feels on brand for you.
Yeah,
or even I think about this with like Kylie Jenner. It bothers me because all of a sudden she was doing makeup and then she was doing perfume and then she had her clothing line and then it's just like she was trying to do all of the and then she had her seltzer out of nowhere and I'm like, this doesn't even make sense for you. Like choose one, two, however many things, or if you're gonna do all those, actually care about them.
Yeah. As you were listing off those things for Kylie, I honestly did not know she had anything else other than her like makeup line.
Yeah, no. So that's why I think people are like, oh my God, another celebrity thing.
Yes,
you know?
yes. But I think Tom has been, I mean, not as vocal, obviously, because it's his own struggles that he's been dealing with, obviously, and it's hard to talk about, I bet. Yeah. But I feel like this is so fitting for him and like how he's like grown and like, you know, like just like it's along the lines of his brand that you know we've just been talking about. I will say, did you see the video of Zendaya getting flooded by paparazzi
and then Tom
Holland coming in, is like, move, and she's like, it's fine, babe, and she like smirks. See, it's the simple things, you guys.
If
it's
they
the simple
ever
things.
break up, it'll be the death of me.
Me too.
No, actually.
Oh my God. He is so protective of her.
Because he knows he got the prize. Like, he knows, like, what? He knows he's a lucky son of a gun. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was just, like, watching that video on repeat. I was like, damn. It's like, literally, it was like, oh, God. Yeah. Anyways, I love them so much.
Me too. Me too.
Oh. But that's all that I have for pop culture.
Cool. All right, should we dive into our topic for the day? You want to tell everyone what we're talking about so I don't have to? Thanks.
Yeah, I knew you were going to I could see that sentence really start to connect and go really fast. I could see it. You did really well.
Thank you.
Today, Theoni and I are talking about the newest Netflix movie called Woman of the Hour. Mm-hmm. It is Anna Kendrick's directorial debut, and she also stars in it. And I don't know what I would describe. Like, I think it would be like a thriller, and I guess we're like recording.
A psychological thriller.
Yeah, and we're recording on like the last day of October, so it's still a little spooky vibes. But yeah, so this one is a new movie, and it came out on Netflix just like a couple weeks ago. But yeah, this was a big project for her because she's never directed a movie. So
I'm always hesitant when actors step into the director role because I feel like so it doesn't always go well because it is such a different skill, you know, and just because you've bared witness to directors doesn't mean you can just do it yourself, you know. So I always get a little nervous about that, but I also will just point out in general, like, this is a very different movie for us than what we typically review. Yeah. So I thought it was really cool, but you know why I'm so stupid? I didn't know this was based on a true story until the end.
No, it is. It truly is.
I didn't know it was.
Oh, you didn't? I thought I told you.
Well, maybe you didn't. I forgot. Because then I saw, that's what I'm saying was crazy, because then I saw the little thing they did at the end to like say what actually happened in real life. And I was like, oh my God.
It's true. 100%. It's like crazy. It's so crazy. The story is so crazy. I will say, well, if people don't know, Woman of the Hour is basically, the movie is basically this woman goes on a TV show, you know, one of those like dating TV shows, and at the end she picks like her contestant, like contestant number 3 or whatever. Turns out contestant number 3 is a serial killer, and it's based on a true story that happened in the 70s/80s, which is so wild. So wild.
I will say I actually really, really enjoyed it a lot. I really liked it. I thought it was like, because I don't really watch movies like this, so I don't know if so I think that like people who might watch these kind of movies a lot maybe have a different opinion, because I'm just not as familiar with like this style of movie. But I thought it was really good. Like, I thought right away, it was just, it kind of gives you the vibe that something's not right away, between like the visuals, the music, so I just thought overall I just really, really liked it.
Question, have you seen Gone Girl?
No.
You would love Gone Girl. Gone Girl is like 10 times this, but more fucked. Like
jeez.
It's like so crazy. You would love Gone Girl. It's on Max.
Okay.
It's based on a novel by Gillian Flynn, I think is what her name. She's like a renowned author, kind of like Stephen King. She like writes really amazing books. You would love Gone Girl. 100%. If you liked this movie, you would love Gone Girl.
Okay.
But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised about this movie. Okay. I will say I have faded out of the true crime community for a while now, and so I don't really like, I don't want to say indulging. I don't like engaging with true crime.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
Yes, it is a very weird, like, I guess I don't know where my place is in it. I don't even know if I have a place. Like, you know, like, it's just so, it's so weird. So I don't typically engage with true crime anymore. But again, too, it's like I was willing to give this movie a chance because I wanted to see what Anna Kendrick would do, right? Her performance, her directing, all that stuff. But I was really pleasantly surprised on how this came together. I will say I'm a little surprised that it wasn't as graphic as I thought it was going to be. But I will say I think that's because we have been so desensitized to like so much like graphic stuff that like honestly having like a step back of like the way that she portrayed the violence in this movie, it was like almost refreshing in a good way.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I also, this is just my opinion, especially with stuff like this, I just don't think, maybe this is just my personal connection to this stuff or whatever, but I just never understand the point of especially like showing like rape on the screen, because obviously that was a big part of this, and they didn't show it, but they didn't need to.
Yes,
there were little like, because there were different signs throughout, which we'll talk about, that like give you the impression that that's what happened, but you don't need to see it to get the vibe and to feel disgust. It just, I understand like there's movies where there's like graphic stuff for a reason, but it's not needed. And I think this is a good example of a movie that shows you don't need it to get like the disgust or the gross feeling, you know?
It's almost even more unsettling to like not get everything, because it's just like it's so subtle that it's even more gross. Like I just than like the full on thing. And so I agree. I was just like just these like little hints of just like little tiny shots, cutaways or whatever. It was so brilliant. I thought it was very, very clever. But we got the impression, and we all felt gross. You know, like that's all you need, you know?
And I will say, I think in general this movie was cast very well as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I just think all of the women that were in these positions, I thought acted very well.
Yeah.
I thought Anna Kendrick did a really good job.
Yeah.
Like, because one thing I appreciated, that no one was, like, overacting. Like, it felt like, I felt like there was a lot of subtleties in the acting that were good. And then the guy who played, like, the serial killer.
Yeah.
He played it so well that the minute he came on the screen, I was like, there's something up with you.
Yes.
Like, that's how well he played it, that I was like, I do not get a good feeling about you. But I think that's what was so good about it, because that's what the women felt.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Before we start diving into more specifics, I do want to say that as Anna Kendrick has been promoting this movie, she recently revealed that so obviously this was a film that she brought to TIFF, which is like the Toronto International Film Festival. And that's kind of a place where like big production companies like Netflix buy the movie. And so Netflix bought the movie for $11 million, and she donated all of that money to RAINN and the National Center for Victims of Violent Crimes. Because she talks about, and sorry, those are the two largest sexual assault nonprofit organizations in America. But she goes on to talk about of just saying like, oh my God, I'm going to profit off of this movie about these horrendous crimes about this guy and about all of these victims. And so she was just like saying how she felt really gross, and that was like the one sign she needed to like donate all that money that Netflix had given her for the film.
That's amazing. Good,
right?
Good for her. Like, but I think that really speaks to what you were saying before about your relationship with true crime. It's like, because it is interesting to see how these things happen, what happens, like the mystery or whatever. But like when you step back to think about it, it is really gross. And I'm not judging anyone for listening to true crime, because I totally get it. But I'm just saying, like, it is a weird thing to think about. Like, we're learning about these things, like these are real things, you know, and it's very tough.
Yes. And again, I totally understand, because I was on a whole true crime kick for like the whole part of the pandemic, and I think another part of it was like a comfort for me, so that I was almost like prepared in a sense, which is so fucked. Okay, I know it's fucked.
No, but
but it's true, right? It's like, it is true,
especially as women, like.
Exactly. So it's like I can see it, but there's again a fine line of like what, like how, when do we stop what am I saying? When do we stop
Are you trying to say sensationalizing?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I was trying to guess. I was like, I feel like that's right, but I'm not sure.
So when do we stop doing that, and then when do we actually, like, you know, take a step back and be like, holy shit, these were actually real people with family, friends. It's just, it's just so weird. So
it is.
But okay. Do you want to start off with anything that you want to talk about right away, or like what? I'm good with whatever.
Honestly, my notes are mostly just my thoughts as I was watching, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
But one thing I want to mention, just with the way the film opened up, I thought it was a really good representation of what the rest of the film was going to look like, and gave me a vibe immediately of what we were going to go into. Like, I literally got chills in my body in a bad way when the woman and the guy were standing on that cliff, and he was just kind of like touching her hair, and then all of a sudden kind of gently put his hand on her neck, and then did it a little more, and then she backed away, and then all of a sudden we see like it happen, and I just it gave me chills, because I was just gonna say it gave me chills because it's like, you see it happening, and you see the girl trying to figure out, this isn't good. What do I do? How do I get out of this? But then, oh God, it makes me sick.
The thing is that it escalates so quickly.
Yep.
And it's like the click in her head, but it's already too late. Like, you know what? And it's just like my heart drops, because it's like, that's how fast it can happen. And I'm just, And I hate it too, because he was like trying to like talk to her and invest in her, and obviously she was trying to be vulnerable, and it's all that bullshit.
But
just
that's part of what the appeal
exactly.
for the whatever. And what made me extra sick with this first scene, he revived her, gave her the Heimlich just to do whatever else, and that was just horrible.
That was fucked. I know. I did gasp when he started giving her mouth to mouth, because I was like, whoa. This is weird. What are you doing? And it was just no good vibes. No good vibes. I do have a question. I wanted to get your thoughts on how you felt about like the back and forth in timeline, because we don't, like you said, we don't start with Anna Kendrick's character. I think her name is Cheryl. We start with this other girl when they're in the middle of the desert, and it kind of goes back and forth. I just kind of want your thoughts on like, what did you think about it? Did you like it? Like, how did it feel to you as you were watching?
I think I liked it a lot, because I think if it had been linear, it would have gotten really boring. And I liked how the way it was going back and forth kind of helped build to the point where at the very end he ends up getting caught, you know? And I think it led up to that really well. And also you see this pattern of what's happening to these women while you're watching what's happening in real time. And then it's like, is it going to be the same result? Is it going to be, you know, like, and that was part of like the suspense, I thought. So I really liked it.
Okay. Same here. I will say at first, I didn't like it, but that's just me personally. Like, I don't like
You never like
dual timelines.
Yeah,
Yes, I
you
don't
hate
like
it.
any dual timelines. I don't like anything that brings me out of the present into the past or into the future, because like you got to give me a good reason to pull me out of the present story to show me what you want in the past or future or whatever it is. And so I was kind of just kind of vibing with it at first, like the structure of it, just being like, okay, like what's next? But I think as soon as we hit the game show, I think it kind of came to the point of like, oh, like she's building this tension, like to basically not that we were counting down not that we were counting down a clock, but it almost felt like we were counting down to the doom of like Cheryl, of like, oh my God, is this going to happen again or whatever? And so I think that was such a clever way to kind of make us feel really anxious. So.
No, 100%, but I think that's what we needed for this movie, you know?
Yes.
So I thought it worked really, really well.
Yeah.
Another thing that genuinely gave me the ick throughout the film, or not the ick, but just like made me so uneasy, was how it's just, it just makes me sick about how this man preyed on women, and how it was never exactly the same, but it was the same tactic every time of like finding someone who might be a little insecure, preying on that insecurity, trying to be there for them in the way that they need you to be, and then building them up because of the photos, and just like watching that happen, and the way he slid in so effortlessly talking about the photo contest, especially with the one who ended up like escaping or whatever, it made me literally sick.
Horrible. Well, here's the thing too. I thought it was really interesting. I don't remember. I think it was more towards like the beginning or middle of the film when he was like submitting his pictures for this like paper or whatever, and it was that guy that he was talking to. And so I'm wondering, like, again, I have not looked up who this actual real man is, and I don't think I want to. So I don't know if he had also preyed on men as well. But it almost gave me a sense of like he was also trying to prey on this guy that he had at this the newspaper, because then they ran into each other in the bathroom, which gave me chills.
Oh my God, it made me sick.
It made me so sick. Like, I hated it because it's like, oh, well, one, you're in an enclosed room. Two, you guys are alone. Like, no one else is around. Like, it's just, it like gave, it was just so gross. You know, do you want to know, I don't know if this is a fun fact, but do you want to know a fact?
Sure.
As I was watching this movie, Jack was like, oh, what is it? And I told him, obviously, it's like true crime, blah, 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 whatever. And he's like, oh, is it about that, like, guy from Milwaukee or whatever? I was like, no, honey, this is, like, in California. You're talking about Jeffrey Dahmer from Milwaukee, who eats people, right? Yeah. Then Jack proceeds to say, oh, yeah, my mom used to cross his yard as she went to school as a shortcut.
I was like, who's?
My mother-in-law.
Jeffrey Dahmer?
She would cross, like, as kids would, you know? Yeah. Just, like, go through people's yards or whatever. She would cross Jeffrey Dahmer's yard. And I was like, Jack, we need to take 10 steps back. What did you just say?
Ew.
Isn't that crazy? I was like, this is too much for me. That's crazy.
But, God, things like that just make me realize it's literally so much closer than you think.
I know.
And you literally never know who you're talking to.
I know. I hate it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
But yeah. My next thing is after what happens at the show. So like if you have anything before the show, like we can talk about that.
No, I was just gonna say, I think like during the show, I thought it was really interesting when the girl in the audience recognized him, because which I also think, again, this points to what I thought was really good acting, but it's like you knew there was some recognition, but then the more and more, and I thought maybe when I was first watching it that she was a victim that got away and never had a chance to report it, but then it turns out it was her friend, and her friend was actually a victim.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Also, like, just going along with that girl, just to mention it, I think the way that she kept trying to report it and, like, whatever.
Oh my God.
I
I like wanted to cry.
This is why people don't report stuff.
I know. And unfortunately, like, it still happens today.
All
It's
the
like
time.
2024. Yeah. Like it's 2024 and it still happens today. And it's just like and that's probably why I wanted to cry, because it was like, this literally still happens today. And it's just so discouraging, so upsetting. Like, I just, it was so interesting, because again, I was like, I don't know where the storyline is going, and then I realized it was her friend who was the victim and not her, and I was like, this is such a great part of the story that I didn't think that I didn't think that we were gonna get, but I love it though, because I feel like it's obviously always the victim as well, but I love this side because I feel like we never fucking see it anywhere.
No, we never see what happens to the, like, families of the victims as much, really.
Yes.
Family, friends, whatever.
Friends, yes.
And I also think it was a good point about people reporting things and not being listened to. And then you see that little in one of the lines at the end when they're talking about the real life, about how people had reporting stuff about this man for 10 years.
10 years.
Didn't do anything.
That is so
that makes
upsetting to me, Theoni. It's so upsetting. Like,
but you know what? I also, on the more positive side, I'm like, there's got to be something to be said about how years and years of reports helped put this man in jail. You know?
Yes. That is the brighter side. Yes, I agree to that.
There is one, but
yeah.
What are some of your thoughts for after the show, though?
I think it goes to show the actor who portrayed the guy did such a great job, because I was so uncomfy, and I really hope he's taking care of himself, because I don't think that was an easy role to portray, and he did it really well, if that's anything to say about.
I
I don't know. Their entire conversation in the restaurant was so uncomfy, was so fast.
Yes. No, but that's what I mean. It can turn so quick.
Yes. I think it escalates so quickly that, like, you don't even know what to do. Like, you don't even know what to say. And you could see, like, Anna Kendrick's character, Cheryl, being like, oh, shit, I just said something wrong. I now need to take a step back. It almost felt claustrophobic in the sense, because I think we, or people we know, have been in a similar situation to that, of, like, knowing that you did something wrong. You're like, oh, I need to take 2 steps back right now, or something's gonna happen. Like, you can just feel the shift.
You feel it, yes. But it was also interesting to me in this scene, because you could see him start to mess up, of, like, trying to relate too much, but then saying, oh, it's my favorite and blah blah blah, but that slip up on his part made her realize what she was doing, and then she messed up by giving him the fake number.
I know. Oh my God. Okay, wait, don't get there yet.
Okay.
I want to talk about the shake of the head for the drinks.
Oh, yeah.
It literally makes me so anxious, because it's like, at first I was like, I thought that lady was gonna be like, yeah, sure, I'll give you 2 Mai Tais or whatever.
Yeah.
Thank fuck she said, actually, we just closed up. I'm like, oh my God.
But
it's like a 50-50.
But then that little moment was so full of suspense, because then I'm like, what if he saw her shaking his head?
I know.
What kind of reaction would he have had?
I know.
Oh God.
It was, honestly, this build up to this scene was immaculate, which then leads us to the parking lot.
Crazy. Oh God. I hated the parking lot scene. I hated we've all been in situations where we're walking to our car alone, or whatever, and people wonder why women especially get that icky feeling.
Like, I just couldn't, even with the whole phone call, like the phone number thing, I was like, I was so grossed out. I was like, no. And then, Theoni, I got full body chills when she was like, no, I guess we're not going to wherever place that they were going to go. Yeah. And he's like, she's like, I never want to see you again. And he was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, I guess I'll see you around. And she's like, yeah, I guess. And then he's like,
mumbled.
I almost threw up.
No, I was like, did I hear that right? And then I turned on like the closed captions and I was like, oh my God. He actually just said, and then I'll bash your head in.
Yes. And then Cheryl, Anna Kendrick's character, turned around and said, what did you just say? Like this entire, I could not.
But that's when I was like, girl, just walk.
Go.
Just walk.
Go.
Just go. But I feel like that. Oh, I'm getting chills again. But like that's such a human reaction to be like, did I actually just hear that right?
Mm-hmm. I will say that wide shot of her walking in the parking lot, and then
see him walking in the background.
I wanted to throw up. That was disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, beautiful from Anna Kendrick.
Yeah,
beautiful and gorgeous. She got her point across because it's absolutely disgusting in every woman's fear ever.
Yep.
Oh my God. Like I couldn't. And like the fact that like he got to her and the only reason why he stopped is because other people were walking out of the studio. I was like, holy shit. Like I couldn't. It was too much for me.
Yeah. I hated it. At that point, I was like, when is he going to come up? Because at that point, I was expecting the jump scare or whatever. Yes. But then he creeps up on her. And then the men walk out of that other building. I was very surprised that she didn't, like, yell for help when she saw the men walk out.
I actually wasn't surprised. I actually kind of thought, like, that was, like, the way to go.
I'm sure it was, but my reaction would have been, help!
Oh, we're two different people. I would not have yelled for help.
Well, see, here's the thing. I think I would have wanted to, but in the moment, like, fight, freeze, I'm a freezer.
Oh, see, that's good to know.
I wouldn't even have been able to, I don't think, be, like, mentally sound enough to play it calm like she did.
Oh, yes.
So
I definitely think I'm flight.
Okay.
I would have, and so the way that she walked across the parking lot, I would have fucking ran.
Yeah.
Like you would have not
I don't know why
me.
she didn't run. Yeah. But maybe it's one of those things where you don't want to poke the bear, you don't want to move too fast, you know?
Yes, which gets us into the next part of this movie. I was going to say something though before we moved on, but I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I was also expecting a jump scare. But honestly, the fact that this movie doesn't have a jump scare and it's just as scary says all that it needs to say.
Totally.
Like,
totally agree. Yeah.
Because I was also expecting a jump scare. I was like, oh my God, he's going to be there. Like, oh my God, he's going to be here or whatever. Or he's going to be in her moving truck, right?
Mm-hmm. I thought he was going to get into the car.
Yes. Yes, same. But nothing. And it's almost even scarier without the jump scares because it's just normal shit. And I'm like, oh, that's even worse.
Literally.
Yeah. Do we want to get into this last part of this movie?
Yes.
So here's the thing. I wanna ask how you understood this. Because again, going back to my original question of jumping timelines, where did you originally think this fell in the timeline?
I thought that one took place before Cheryl's thing. But then I realized at the end that this was like right after Cheryl's thing.
Yes, because
but
you know
I
what
didn't realize that at first. I thought
here.
The other girl was going to be another one of the victims that came prior to Cheryl.
Same here. I think I have to rewatch the specific scenes, but I think he was following Cheryl to her apartment, but she had moved out, and that's how he found that teenage girl. I think. And so I think that's the way that I had put it together because I was like, wait, he gets caught. So then when did the Cheryl thing happen? So I was just like trying to see where it fell in the timeline, but that makes sense. So,
and then I think it also makes sense how it ended up working out because then the woman at the show in the audience tried to report it as well. So that was also ended up being part of like what made him able to put him in jail. But anyways,
yeah. I don't even know what to say about this one. This one was really upsetting.
But it was very upsetting. And I honestly was surprised that she was alive in the morning and that he was just crying.
Yes.
But I also do think that was a really interesting moment because it showed the side of this serial killer where it's like, this is like so, like, he is mentally ill.
Yes.
Like,
well,
he
because
is mentally ill.
remember in the car before they're going to this hill, right? He says there's a big hill. He says that if he sees his dad, he'd like fucking kill him or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we obviously know he is not okay. Like there's something, like clearly something is wrong.
But something I also appreciated, now that we're talking about this, he mentioned that thing about his dad. So obviously we know what happened. But the focus of this movie was not on the background of the serial killer and why they turned out the way they did. And almost creating this like sympathy card for the serial killer. And I really appreciated that. Because I feel like that happens a lot of times. And I don't want to see that.
Yes. And that's what I was saying, that like I appreciate this film because it's not I don't know the word.
Sensationalized.
Thank you. It's not doing that of the violence, but also of the fucking serial killer, which I think is what they had gotten wrong with the fucking Ted Bundy Netflix series starring Zac Efron. I'm like, dude, I don't want to know about Ted Bundy. I want to know about all the fucking victims he killed. All those women. And I was just like, I don't know. And so that's why I really, really appreciate this movie. Yeah, I think like we were saying, I didn't need this scene to be explicit, but it was so subtle enough that it was so disgusting to me. Of just like, even when she was standing off the cliff and he was like, look up. And she's like, well, Rodney, did you get the shot? Did you get the shot? And then it was, Yeah.
But and then the night that, at the very end of the movie, the morning that she woke up. And this is an example of where you don't need to show someone getting sexually assaulted. Like, trigger warning, her pants were like at her ankles.
That's all we needed to know.
Maybe a second shot of that. But
that's all we needed.
That's all we needed to understand what happened. And like, I don't know. I think it's disgusting when we like have to see stuff like that. Like, I don't want to
agree.
see that.
Like I think it was even like the visual that we got of her pants by her ankles was even more powerful than anything else that they could have shown. I will say I don't know if I was like screaming or I was speechless when she like woke up and she was like, hey, like that was a rough night, like are you okay? I'm like,
she's smarter than I am.
Yes, I would not be that fucking smart. And the thing is that I've heard cases like this before too. When I was in my like true crime phase, like I have heard reactions like this before and it has worked. So the fact that she pulled this off and it did fucking work, I was like, that, like, good for you. You were so smart in that moment. You didn't give him any signs. You reassured him, which is also very disgusting, but it was all for survival because she knew what she was fucking doing.
But then also look at like the impact that had, because look at how many potential people she saved because she was able to be smart in that moment. But like, you never know what you would do in that situation until you're there. Like,
I know.
No matter how many things you watch, no matter how much you learn, it's like different when you're in the moment.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I just like, I was just like in awe, like of seeing her play it off, but then seeing just how broken and just traumatized she was as they were driving out. And literally, I was screaming when he was like, oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Do you want anything? And she's like, nope, I don't. And it pans to him, and it pans back to the car, and the door is open. I was like, run! Fucking run! I was like screaming.
He dumb for that, though.
I know.
But that's what I mean. There's always going to be a slip up. And it's like, and I just think in all of these stories, you just have to wait for the moment. You just have to wait for the moment, you know?
Yeah.
To get away. Oh, God. I don't even like talking about this stuff, honestly.
Yeah. I will say those facts at the end were insane. Well, again, I didn't know a lot about, like, what the true story actually was. Like, I've never heard of this case. But those facts at the end were absolutely appalling, but I'm so happy that Anna Kendrick decided to added in.
Me too. I think it just it made the impact so much stronger.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that got me the most was the fact that like 7 murders were basically what got him in jail or incarcerated.
Yep.
But some officials estimate that there were 180 victims.
180.
Like, are you kidding me?
That's, yes, like I said, appalling.
That's
like,
not,
I can't.
People talk about serial killers like that is.
Yeah. I know. I have one thing that we can end on. Okay. That's not silly, but like it was like whatever. So I did have one very minor problem with this film.
Okay.
I think overall it did what it did and it was great. I did have one problem. Do you know the term iPhone face? Where you can still look at the actress and you know they've seen an iPhone. I'm sorry, that's Anna Kendrick for me.
Yeah,
I looked at her.
Doesn't have a 70s face.
No, honey, you do not. You do not pull off 70s. You do not pull off 80s. And it kept snapping me out of it. I was like, girl, you know what an iPhone is. You know all this stuff. Like, I was like, oh,
I also
whatever.
kind of felt that way about the serial killer's face, though, as well, honestly.
Oh, okay. I will say I did not feel that about him.
See, I felt like he looked less 70s, but honestly, I wasn't even really focused on the era as much.
Oh, really?
Like,
okay,
I don't know. I was so focused on everything else happening.
Got it. I will say I wish she leaned in a little more to like the 70s, 80s, just to get a little more of like the historical grasp that I needed to like make me feel like, oh, I'm in the 70s. Like, holy crap. But again, I'm okay without that because that's not the focus of this movie, you know?
Yeah.
I just had to say that because I was like, Anna Kendrick, girl, I know you know what an iPhone is. Like, you can't pull off the 70s. I'm so sorry. I love you.
Can't. Yeah.
I love you, but you cannot. So.
Fair, yeah.
But that is all of my thoughts for this movie. So.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything else either. And honestly, like, I'm realizing this is why I don't like true crime because the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, I just don't like it. I really don't.
I get it. Yeah.
Okay, so Selena, what are we talking about next week?
I don't know what we're talking about next week. We have something played. Wait, let me see if I can guess, okay? Let me see if I can guess. We are reviewing and listening to Flo's newest album.
Yes, you got it.
Yes, I don't remember what it's called. But Flo, this girl group who Theoni and I actually have just kind of like stumbled on, they're releasing their first album. And so we are going to listen and discuss their album.
I'm excited. Hopefully it'll be good.
Too. I think so. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening and we'll see you next time.
Bye.